I hadn't planned to buy anything at the souk that day. The market was crowded, buzzing with vendors calling out their offers in Arabic, the scent of saffron and rosewater clinging to the air. I was only wandering, letting the colors and chaos swallow me whole. But then I saw him. He was standing at a small stall where gold chains glimmered under the lantern light, his hand lifting a tiny charm shaped like a camel. His profile was sharp, almost regal, but softened by the warmth of his eyes when he noticed me staring. He didn't look away. He didn't even pretend not to notice. Instead, he smiled, a small, knowing smile that reached me before his words did. Before I continue, let me pause to say this. If you're reading these words, you already stepped into my story, and stories like this are meant to be shared. So please, like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Trust me, you'll feel a little guilty if you reach the end and forget to tap that button. Do you like it? He asked, holding up the charm so it caught the light. His accent was smooth, Arabic, but tinged with something softer, almost musical. I found myself walking closer, drawn by him more than the gold. It's beautiful, I said, though I wasn't sure if I meant the trinket or the man himself. His name was Kareem. Rare, strong, but it fit him. He pressed the charm into my hand like it belonged to me already, the weight of it delicate yet heavy with meaning. Then it's yours. I shook my head instinctively. I can't. But Kareem only smiled again, slower this time. You can, and you will. The chain slid into my palm, cool at first, but warming quickly against my skin. That was the moment something shifted, though I couldn't explain what. It was as if the market noise faded, the crowd melted, and the only thing left was his gaze and the soft gleam of gold linking us together. We lingered there at the stall, the evening air cooling as lanterns flickered overhead. I tried to hand him a few notes, but he closed my fingers around the chain and shook his head firmly. His touch was gentle, yet there was no room for argument in it. "You'll insult me if you pay," Kareem said. His voice had that calm authority I couldn't resist. I saw the way your eyes lit up. It belongs with you, not in a box. I should have walked away. I should have said thank you and gone home. But instead, I let him fasten the gold around my neck. His fingers brushed the back of my skin, light as a whisper, and the sensation stayed long after he pulled away. The crowd jostled around us, bargaining, laughing, but between us there was a hush, a private pocket of stillness. His eyes were darker up close, almost black, and when he looked at me, I felt uncovered, as if every guard I had carried into this market had been stripped away with one glance. "You wear it well," he murmured, "like you've always been meant to." I swallowed, tried to find my voice. "You don't even know me." "That's not true," he said softly. "I know enough. You came here searching for something, even if you don't know what, and now you found me." There was no arrogance in the way he said it, no boast, only certainty. We walked side by side through the souk after that. He asked me my name, and when I told him, he repeated it slowly, carefully, as if memorizing the shape of it on his tongue. He spoke of little things, the spices he used in his cooking, the books he kept in his home, how he preferred night over day, because shadows had a language of their own. I listened, captivated, storing each word like treasure. And then, almost casually, he asked, "Will you let me show you my world?" "Not tonight, but soon. The gold is only the beginning." I should have hesitated, but I didn't. The thought of saying no felt impossible. The chain against my chest felt heavier now, pulling me toward him. "I'll let you," I whispered, and the promise hung between us, bright as a lantern light, unspoken but understood. That night, when I finally lay in bed, I traced the char in my throat, remembering the press of his fingers, the warmth of his breath behind me, and I knew I was already his. Kareem's home was nothing like I expected. The souk's noise and neon chaos melted away once he shut the heavy carved door behind us. Inside it was quiet, so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat. Warm lamps glowed low against sandstone walls, and patterned rugs stretched across the floor like stories waiting to be told. Kareem set the small velvet box on the table, the one that held the camel charm he'd bought me earlier, and then turned to me with a softness I hadn't seen before. His eyes weren't playful anymore. They were searching, asking if I was ready to step into his world. "Take this off," he said gently, his hand brushing the scarf at my neck. It wasn't a command. Not really, it was an invitation. I loosened the fabric, and for the first time that night, I felt bare under his gaze. My pulse raced, not from fear, but from knowing how much I wanted to let him in. We didn't rush. We spoke in whispers at first, sitting close, telling each other stories that belonged only to the night. He told me how the souk had raised him, how the scent of oud and saffron were his childhood lullabies. I told him how I always felt like an outsider, moving through cities like a shadow, until tonight. The space between us grew smaller with each word. His knee brushed mine, and instead of pulling away, I leaned closer. When his hand finally found my cheek, it felt inevitable. His thumb traced a line of my jaw, and then his lips were on mine. Slow, deliberate, the kind of kiss that builds a fire without needing a spark. I melted into him, my hands tangled in the fabric of his thobe, pulling him closer. Every touch carried weight. Every kiss felt like a promise neither of us had spoken yet. When he lifted the gold chain from the table and placed it gently around my neck, I understood it wasn't just decoration. It was his way of saying, "You belong here with me." And in that private world, wrapped in the warmth of his arms and the quiet luxury of his home, I stopped being a man who wandered from place to place. I became his. The chain around my neck felt heavier than it should, but not in a way that burdened me. It grounded me. Kareem's fingers lingered there, his touch warm against my skin, his breath steady. "You wear it well," he whispered, eyes glowing with something that felt larger than desire. "Better than gold." I laughed softly, nervous and wanting him at once. "And what am I, then?" "My Habibi," he said. The word, so simple, so certain, unraveled something inside me. I kissed him again, and this time neither of us held back. Our lips pressed harder, breaths tangled, hands exploring in the half-light of his home. He pulled me closer, guided me down onto the cushions laid across the rug. The scent of oud from the incense burner filled the room, sweet and smoky, mingling with the salt of his skin as I pressed my face to his neck. There was no rush, no clumsy urgency, only heat that grew with every slow touch. His hands moved across me with reverence, as if memorizing me, as if each curve and angle of my body was something sacred. I responded in kind, learning him through taste, through touch, through the low sounds he made when I found the places that undid him. Time blurred. The souk, the world outside, my old life, all of it disappeared. There was only this room, this man, this fire between us that had no need for words. When he finally laid me back against the cushions, chains glinting faintly in the lamp's glow, it felt like surrender and victory at the same time. He kissed me until I forgot where I ended and he began, until every part of me whispered his name. And when we reached the moment of giving ourselves fully, it wasn't just passion, it was devotion. Bodies pressed, hearts racing. We moved as if answering a question that had lived inside both of us for too long. After we stayed close, his arms around me, my head resting on his chest. He played idly with the camel charm at my neck, smiling like he'd written his name there. "You came for gold," he teased softly, "and now you are mine in chains." I smiled against his skin. "Not chains," I whispered. "A promise." We slept like that, wrapped in each other, the world outside forgotten. By dawn, I didn't care about the souk, the bargains, or even the city. All I wanted was this. Kareem, his warmth, his love, his gold chains heavy around my neck, reminded me that some treasures can't be bought. And that was how I lost myself, only to find everything.